Hey guys, welcome back to Mikey's American Dream. And today, so this is not a video really detailing anything about my move, but the whole topic of this channel is, yes, my move to the US, but also I want you to understand that the reason we're moving to the US is not for necessarily financial gain, not for necessarily just fun. Of course, a better economy, a more capitalist country, and the fact that there's so much to do in the US have all contributed to our decisions. Right? If the US had the worst economy in the world, it might be a lot harder for us to decide to move there. But we are moving to the US because we love the country, we love the culture, we love the people. And it frustrates me ever so slightly when there is this mention that America has no culture, there's no American culture. And that's absolutely ridiculous. There's culture derived from every part of the world that lives in the United States, and it's all become part of American culture. Part of American culture in New York is that of Italian American and Irish American heritage, right? So anyway, that's more of a tangent. But we are moving to the US because we love the US, and that's one of the reasons why I love to talk about topics like this. And today, I want to talk to you primarily why I find American history so fascinating when compared to other history. Now, history itself for me is a fascinating topic, right? I love history in general. In fact, one of the biggest things I read about is, of course, the First and Second World War on the European continent and the Pacific continent, obviously, and in the Pacific as well. I find very interesting. But history in general for me is really, really exciting and something that I really, really enjoy. And for that reason, I've read a lot of American history. Everything when it comes down to, America's wars, the conquering of the West, the whole concept of manifest destiny, even small isolated stories like the story of Wyatt Earp, which is actually really, really descriptive in showing you the ways of the West, or how the West was. It may be one small story, but it's so descriptive of essentially the entire Western philosophy and what was happening in the West at the time. But I wanted to make this video because there's been a lot of comments in the comment section telling me I'm making a mistake. Now that could be a video for a separate day, but they're telling me that I'm making a mistake, and I really wanted to clarify why I love the US. Yes, there are things to consider, like healthcare, life expectancy, the foods that we eat, and a lot of things come down to personal choice. But for me, one of my biggest fascinations of the United States is its history. Before I get to that, don't forget, guys, if this is your first time visiting this channel, this is Mikey's American Dream, and this is a channel dedicated to video detailing my move step by step and my fiance's move step by step from the UK and Dubai, which is where we currently reside, back and forth to the United States. That's Houston, Texas to be exact, and that is something we're so excited for. So if you want to see our journey, I will start doing vlogs from round about the 2nd of January, because that is when I'm flying to Dubai to get the plane to Texas, although it seems counterproductive, but we've got stuff to pick up from Dubai. And then you can come with me on the journey as we discover new things in the United States, new and exciting things, as we show you where we are, where we're staying, or what we're doing for work, and really how excited we are to be in the US, and really our entire journey from British citizens and UAE residents to American residents, and eventually US citizens sometime in the future. But that is this channel. If you want to follow my reaction channel, the link is down below in the description, and Tasha and my fiance Tasha's YouTube channel, the link is down below as well. She does more vlogs already, so if you want to see some vlogs of our vacations and stuff like that, there are videos on this channel, but there are also some amazing videos on her channel. She does it better. She talks to the camera better than I can. She's more natural. I'm not necessarily rehearsed, but I speak way too fast. She speaks far better than I do. Nonetheless, so one of the reasons why we're moving to the US is my fascination with American history and the culture which it's created, right? So the thing is that you look at European countries and Asian countries, you look at China, for example. China's had 5,000 years of civilization to sort itself out, and it still hasn't. You know, the same thing goes, you know, for so many countries in Southeast Asia which have a rich history of civilization and culture, but things just haven't gone right through bad decisions or whatever it may be. The Western world, when you look at Europe and NATO members and members of the European Union, you look at the UK, London itself was created over 2,000 years ago by the Roman Empire. It was called Londinium. And of course, naturally, it was built on the River Thames, because that is where most cities are built, right near rivers, because that is the water source, that is life, right? Not necessarily the water source for drinking because it's salt water, but I mean, it's trade routes, right? London, the UK, has had thousands of years of civilization to get to the point where we have the infrastructure, you know, the highways, the cities, the megastructures, the shipping lanes, the you know, the culture of being a seafaring nation. We've had thousands of years in the UK to get that right. Greek democracy was created 3,000 years ago, and philosophy and mathematics was created 3,000 years ago in Athens by Greeks wearing robes, my ancestors. But the United States was founded, truly founded, in 1776, 250 years ago. There's been 250 years of independent civilization in the United States without external, you know, influence. And in 250 years, you know, just to put it into perspective, when the land where Houston, Texas is, or the land where San Francisco is, or the land where Chicago is, was nothing but wide open plains, London had already been built. Of course, it was not to this extent, but London already had roads. London already had financial centres. London already had hospitals, museums, palaces, which is not a good thing, because we should be a republic, like every country should, because who really cares about a monarchy? Nonetheless, there were wide open plains. There was nothing there. There was nothing there. There was nothing in the state of California, or the land where California is, or Oregon, or Texas in 1600, 1700, and even, you know, to a certain extent 1800. In the 1800s, where you saw the creation of cattle towns. So America's history is explosive. They have achieved what Western Europe has achieved, that took them 2,000, 3,000, even 4,000 years to achieve in a space of 250 years. The United States is an infant nation, and it makes mistakes. There is turmoil, as there is in any child, shall we say, right? But the difference is that in 250 years, the US has created one of the strongest economies in the world. It has fought for democracy and freedom across the world. Now, that is a controversial topic. Some of you are going to comment, oh, what about all these wrong wars? I'm talking about World War I, World War II, okay, where things really, really mattered, okay? The United States put its young men on the line to liberate the rest of the world. That is the case, right? Whether the United States was attacked at Pearl Harbor or not, okay, they still entered the conflict in Europe, okay, and I truly believe without American troops, without you know, without American firepower, the war would not have been won. Russia would not have had the Sherman tank, which it used quite effectively through the Lend-Lease. It wouldn't have had ammunition or firearms enough to complete its task. So the war would never have been won. Now, you know, I'm going on a tangent here a little bit, but my point is, US history is explosive. There's so much that has happened in 250 years, and every single little detail that's happened over the last 250 years has led to the United States being the world's largest superpower, with the most influence in the world, with arguably the best economy, okay, with the most technological innovations, the most medical innovations, the largest, not the largest cities, China takes that one, but some of the largest cities in the world, some of the best infrastructure in the world, one of the best legal systems in the world, which was of course derived from British common law, which I studied, by the way. So that's neither here nor there. But that happened in 250 years, and that shaped what the United States is today. And many people may criticize that. I don't, because I still appreciate that the United States, what I am doing is essentially moving to an infant nation, in the grand scheme of things. In the billions of years that this planet has been in existence, the United States has only been alive for 250 years. What's the exact number? My maths should be better, but 1776 to 2023 is what? 24, 224, 247 years? I think 247 years. So not even 250. 247 years old is the United States. And the very country that created the F-22. But, you know, nonetheless, all jokes aside, it's impressive. And there are hiccups, there are bumps along the road. People comment, oh, the healthcare is awful, the food leads to obesity. But I personally think when it comes to the food, you know, the United States is precisely what it says on the label. There is food that contains stuff that the rest of the world has banned and made illegal. You don't have to eat it. The portions are double the size at McDonald's. You don't have to eat them. It's all about freedom and personal choice. You don't have to do any of it. If you want to, I promise you now, if you went to Walmart or Publix or Kroger's or whatever it may be, or Whole Foods, if that's where you're inclined to go, and you bought nothing but chicken breast, broccoli and rice, you'd be in the best shape of your life, and you wouldn't have to complain about the food, right? You know, everything's personal choice. I agree that you're allowed to eat whatever you want and be any size that you want. That's your choice. I don't care, quite frankly, right? So it shouldn't be something we complain about. It's not the government's fault that people make choices. That's just one comment. But I'm going to do a video very soon, reading through some of the comments. I've got a lot of interesting comments, like just simply a two-word comment: Texas sucks. Cool, that's fine, but it's all comparative, isn't it? Texas sucks. For me, I love Texas. Loved it. I love Florida as well. I think those two states are intertwined in ideology and in the way they're run. You know, oh boy, you're going to regret this move. People trying to find a way out and you're trying to find a way in. I'm not trying to find a way in. I found the way in. And actually, to leave the United States isn't that hard. The UK and the US is a treaty. So actually, if you want to get a visa to come and work in the UK, you're more than welcome to. But it's falling apart. But yeah, anyway, again, tangent. I had no plan when I decided to start filming this video, to be frank. I just started filming and talking, and that's probably my downfall, but it is what it is. I mean, do people really hate living in the US that much? The most patriotic people that I know of are Americans. You know, when Americans love America, damn, they love America. And I'm talking from experience that I've been, I've never lived there for a long period of time. And a vacation is far different to life, right? But you can make observations about how things are and how people seem, and how society in general seems, right? And everywhere, every country, every city, every people have their downfalls. But the US, I believe, is quite literally, it can be what you make it to be as an individual. You know, I chose to live in Texas for good reason. I did not choose to live in Brooklyn, New York, or downtown San Francisco, or downtown Chicago, you know. It's going to be what I make it to be. It's going to be precisely that. I am moving because I love good barbecue. I love the American culture. I love the Second Amendment. I love what the US flag stands for, because there are very few flags that actually stand for something. But internationally speaking, the United States flag is the international symbol for projecting power and liberty. Really, it really is. If you flew an American flag over Hong Kong tomorrow, the entire people would rejoice. And the same with Taiwan. I mean, we're not talking in an imperialistic way, of course, but you know what I mean. There is something about the representation of the US flag and how well thought out it is, in the sense that each star is a state and each stripe is one of the 13 original colonies, or original states that were colonies. So there's symbolism there, and the red is to stand for the blood sacrifice of those who defended the flag and who fought for liberty and independence from the British Empire. It's an amazing story. It really is. And the US is an anomaly. It was a bunch of farmers who formed a militia and fought against the biggest and most powerful empire the world has ever seen. The empire on which the sun did not set, and it was won over by, you know, the people, just some regular people who wanted liberty and their right to representation. And that is really the basis of the United States. And that's why we're moving there. Because I still think that true Americans hold those values dear to them. Whereas in Europe, it seems to be that people are happy to give up some rights as long as they're comfortable and they're protected, right? You know, I'm happy to give up certain rights to freedom of speech as long as no one can offend me, and, you know, as long as, you know, public transport is really, really good. I don't care about public transport. I don't care about that. I'll buy a car. What I care about is not being prosecuted or persecuted for my speech. What I care about is being able to drive into a city centre without being charged $20, $30 just for entering. What I care about is not having to pay $8 or $9, which is the current going rate for a gallon of gas in the UK. What I care about is not getting taxed 40% on my income, or 20% on the products I buy, or having to pay into a national insurance system that I never use for the NHS and I can't get an appointment for. You know, that is why people are leaving Europe. That's why people move to the United States. The largest, I believe the largest, I think there's something ridiculous like 700,000 British people living in the state of Florida. 700,000. I guarantee you they're happier than those that are living in Edinburgh or Hull or Bolton or Liverpool. Go to Liverpool. I do love my country, I do. But go to Liverpool and tell me you'd rather live in Liverpool than, I don't know, Orlando, Florida, which is not even, you know, a major city, or Tallahassee or Houston or Dallas. No, I know everyone said, oh, Dallas is really liberal now. Doesn't matter. Go to Dallas and tell me you prefer Liverpool, or tell me you prefer North London over Dallas. You're not going to. You're not going to. Here, you're taxed on every breath you take. You know, we're just looking for a bit of liberty, something where we're left alone to live our lives and just enjoy ourselves. And somewhere good to raise children, I think, is really what everyone's looking for. Now, anyway, off tangent. This has just been a bit of a, I didn't know what I was going to say before I got on here, but I spoke. It happened, and I meant everything I said. But to summarize, I love absolutely the history of the United States. I love the explosive nature of the history of the United States. I love the impact that each individual had on forming what is now the US. The very people who went along the Oregon Trail, many of whom were Europeans, a lot from Germany, in fact. You know, the impact they had, you know, how many of them died and how many of them survived. Imagine the generations that have been created from somebody who decided that they wanted to, I don't know, take a wagon from Tennessee to Oregon, through Texas and up through Montana. You know, just all of that. How the importance of the expedition of Lewis and Clark, the importance of the idea of manifest destiny, and of course some atrocities that happened, battles against Native Americans, which etc., etc. And but at the same time, all the hardship that the US has gone through, the attack on Pearl Harbor, the attack on the Twin Towers, has all formed the psyche of a nation, which is at the moment in battle with itself, between two differing ideologies. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that you can talk about those two differing ideologies without being imprisoned for your beliefs is what makes America great. Because in Germany, if you say something even remotely Nazi related, you can face prison time. No one supports Nazis, right? No sane person does. I'm not naive enough to think that no one supports Nazis. No sane person supports Nazism, right? But if somebody did and took no action on it and simply spoke about it or wrote a book, they shouldn't be imprisoned for it unless they do something truly illegal, right? Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. If you want to stand in the center of, I don't know, Times Square and tell everyone that you love Joseph Stalin despite what he did, then you should be allowed to do that. You might get hit by people who don't like Joseph Stalin, or if anyone actually knows who Joseph Stalin is in Times Square. But that's besides the point. In certain countries, you can't do that, right? You look at the Middle East, which is really growing in what it is. You look at Saudi Arabia now; it's been modernizing and stuff like that. In Saudi Arabia, alcohol means prison time. Criticism of the government means prison time. So people were happy there because they're happy to make lots of money, live in the warm weather, which is actually scorching weather, drive nice cars and live comfortable lives. But they have no freedom, no true freedom. So, and that's really the way Europe is, but people don't see that. I had a comment saying that the only Americans who think that America is the best are those who have never traveled outside America and seen how the rest of the civilized world really views healthcare costs, etc. I've lived outside America for 26 years. Right? I can tell you that what I've seen here and what I've seen there, now, don't get me wrong, I've never experienced healthcare costs in the US. I'm sure I will at some point. What I've seen here and what I've seen there, I prefer the US. And that's not going to change. I think my conviction will only get stronger with that one. But anyway, guys, again, to summarize my summary, incredible history. That's why I love the history of the United States. It is explosive, it is fantastic, and that is one of the primary reasons that got me interested in the US. It was this history that began my entire journey. In fact, began my entire journey to loving the United States? It was the Ken Burns documentary on the Civil War. I watched it. I used to watch it on the train on the way to work in the mornings, and it was that documentary that got me interested enough to read more American history and read more American history, then understand the American psyche, understand the American people, which got me to love the US so much so that we looked at moving, and we've been successful. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you very much. Don't forget, if you like this video, like it, subscribe it, leave a comment down below. You can give me a lot of hate or whatever you want, send it to me, go ahead. And if you liked what I had to say, give me a comment, let me know what you think on this topic, what you think about American history, what you think about your country, and soon to be my country one day. And let me know anything else you want to know about me. You've got any questions about me, leave them down below. I'm happy to do a video. In fact, one of my next videos, I'll do a question and answer video like I did at the very beginning. You guys can ask me absolutely anything you want, and I'll let you know. I mean, don't get too personal. I'm not going to answer, of course, but let me know. As always, absolute pleasure to share my experience and my journey with you. I believe there's 2 more videos of me talking at you, and then we're going to start to do some footage of mine and Tasha's trip and all of our preparations to get to the US. Packing has been an absolute nightmare. My brain is just not there when it comes to what I need to take. I'm trying to fit everything that I own into 2 suitcases, or everything that I need into 2 suitcases. Clothes, not a problem. I'll just go to Bass Pro. but you get what I'm saying. So really, really exciting time. Stressful as well, because I'm working essentially every day until the day that I fly. So yeah, guys, let me know what do you want to hear from me. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the topics that I spoke about. Now, I've spoken for 25 minutes. I was not expecting to do that. But I'm going to do a comment video for you soon and a question and answer video for you soon. And I've got one more topic I want to talk about before I fly. But of course, I'll throw these videos in throughout, even when I'm, you know, vlogging, and you can see the entire journey. So thank you very much, guys. Don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and check out my Mikey Reacts, my reaction channel, where I've got lots of reactions to amazing country music, patriotic songs, speeches by Ronald Reagan, and all these amazing people, these amazing personalities. So head over there as well. Check out Tasha in Texas. The link is down below. She's got some great stuff for you to see. And if you want to follow me and talk more on politics, which is something I'm actually really well versed in, I'm really interested in, American politics that is, you can go ahead and check out my Patreon. The link is down below in the description. It's only $5 a month, guys. $5 a month. You can chat to me privately. We can do phone calls. We can talk about really important issues. And there's a whole catalog of videos that you can go through and watch. So don't forget, like, subscribe, head over to Patreon and check out the other 2 channels that I mentioned. And I'll see you all on the next video. Have a great day, guys.